Good morning, ladies and gentlemen of the 68th. We are now in the 13th day of session, 2025, January the 30th. Ladies and gentlemen, we are going to do our roll. Chief Clerk, please call the roll.
Convening roll call for the 13th day, January 30th, 2025. Alamand?
Excused.
Andrew? Angelos? Banks? Bear? Brady? Bratton? Brown Gary? Brown Landon? Byron? Campbell Elisa? Campbell Kevin? Chestick? Plouston? Connolly? Davis? Eklund? Erickson? Filer? Geringer? Guggenmoss? Haraldson? Harshman? Heiner? Heft? Jarvis? Johnson? Kelly? Knapp? Larson Lloyd? Larson JT? Larson JT? Lawley? Lean? Locke? Lucas? McCann? Nicholas? Ottman? Pendergraft? Posey? Provenza? Riggins? Rodriguez-Williams? Schmid? Sherwood? Singh? Smith? Storer? Strock? Stivar? Tarver? Thayer? Washut? Wasserberger? Webb? Weber? Wharf? Williams? Winter? Wiley? Yin? Mr. Speaker. Alamand, excused to present. Campbell Kevin, excused to present. Nicholas, excused to present.
We will hold it open briefly here while we wait for some members to finish getting to the chamber. Ladies and gentlemen, for the prayer this morning, we will be led by Pastor Jonathan Lang from Evanston, Wyoming. Please stand.
In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. Almighty God, you hold in your hand all the might of man, and have ordained the powers that be for the punishment of evildoers and for the praise of them that do well. Receive the hearty thanks of your church for the men and women gathered under this sacred dome. They have put their lives on hold, their reputation on the line, in order to serve the people of Wyoming. Bless them for their service. Protect their health, uphold their families and businesses in their absence. And as they set about the legislative task today, give them a clear understanding of your will. Give them courage to act with integrity. Cause their actions to harmonize with their faith, that they may maintain a good conscience. Bless the outcome of their work and cause it to produce lasting blessings for the current citizens of Wyoming and for generations not yet conceived. And cause all whom you have given the power of the sword to wield it according to your command, through Jesus Christ, who lives and rules the world as King of Kings and Lord of Lords, both now and forever, world without end. Amen.
Fellow members and guests, please join me in the salute to our flag. Representatives, greet each other, enjoy some fellowship, and we will wait for other members to get assembled, and then we will begin. Members, we want to go ahead and finish the roll. Chief Clerk, hopefully we have everyone assembled now.
Larson, JT.
He is excused.
Locke. Ottman. Storer. Mr. Speaker, 60 present, 2 excused.
Thank you, Chief Clerk. Next is our Journal Committee report.
Your Journal Committee reports that the Journal of January 29th, 2025 has been read and recommends that it be approved. Representatives Jarvis and Posey.
Thank you, Reading Clerk. We have no messages from the Senate. We are at that order of business of introduction, reading, and reference of bills. The first bill for our consideration is House Bill 327.
House Bill 327, sponsored by Representative Heiner.
First reading of the bill.
Attorney General, controlled by statewide elected officials.
House Bill 327 will be assigned to Committee Number 1, Judiciary. Next bill for our consideration, House Bill 165.
House Bill 165, sponsored by Representative Webb.
First reading of the bill.
Ranked choice voting prohibition.
House Bill 165 will be assigned to Committee Number 2, Appropriations. Next bill for our consideration is House Bill 264.
House Bill 264, sponsored by Representative Singh.
First reading of the bill.
Central bank digital currencies prohibitions.
House Bill 264 will also be assigned to our Committee Number 2, Appropriations. Next bill for our consideration, House Bill 292.
House Bill 292, sponsored by Representative Baer.
First reading of the bill.
Budget reserves, recommend appropriation amount.
House Bill 292 will be sent to Committee Number 2, Appropriations. Next bill for our consideration, House Bill 320.
House Bill 320, sponsored by Representative Storer.
First reading of the bill.
Taxation and Revenue Task Force 2028.
House Bill 320 will be also assigned to Committee Number 2, Appropriations. Next bill for our consideration, House Bill 299.
House Bill 299, sponsored by Representative Posey.
First reading of the bill.
Online sports wagering amendments.
House Bill 299 will be assigned to our Committee Number 6, TRW. Next bill for our consideration will be House Bill 65.
House Bill 65, sponsored by corporations.
First reading of the bill.
Executive orders repository.
House Bill 65 will be assigned to our Committee Number 7, Corporations. Next bill for our consideration, House Bill 144.
House Bill 144, sponsored by Representative Nyman.
First reading of the bill.
County Canvassing Board.
House Bill 144 will also be assigned to our Committee Number 7, Corporations. Next bill for our consideration will be House Bill 296.
House Bill 296, sponsored by Representative Nyman.
First reading of the bill.
Constitutional appointment.
House Bill 296 will also be assigned to Committee Number 7, Corporations. Next bill for our consideration, House Bill 310.
House Bill 310, sponsored by Representative Tarver.
First reading of the bill.
Trailer permanent registration amendments.
House Bill 310 will be assigned to Committee Number 8, Transportation. Next bill for our consideration will be House Bill 313.
House Bill 313, sponsored by Representative Schmidt.
First reading of the bill.
Speed limits established by local authorities amendments.
House Bill 313 will be assigned to Committee Number 8, Transportation. Next bill for our consideration, House Bill 149.
House Bill 149, sponsored by Representative Rodriguez Williams.
First reading of the bill.
Adoption Discrimination, Keep Kids First Act.
House Bill 149 will be assigned to Committee Number 10, Labor Health. Next bill for our consideration is House Bill 284.
House Bill 284, sponsored by Representative Provenza.
First reading of the bill.
Required hospital services.
House Bill 284 will be assigned to our Committee Number 10, Labor Health. Next bill for consideration, House Bill 289.
House Bill 289, sponsored by Representative Geringer.
First reading of the bill.
Certificate of Need, Repeal 3.
House Bill 289 will also be sent to our Committee Number 10, Labor Health. Yeah, we got it right here. Next bill for our consideration will be House Bill 251.
House Bill 251, sponsored by Representative Nyman.
First reading of the bill.
Trespass by drone.
House Bill 251 will be assigned to our committee number 5, Agriculture. Okay. Next. Standing committee reports.
House Joint Resolution 1, sponsored by Capital Finance, amending Wyoming's Act of Admission for Earnings. Mr. Speaker, your committee number 2 appropriations, to whom is referred to House Joint 1, amending Wyoming's Act of Admission for Earnings, respect the report, same back to the House with the recommendation that it do pass. Ayes, Representatives Alaman, Angelos, Bear, Haroldson, Pendergraft, Sherwood, Smith. Representative Bear, Chairman.
Thank you, Reading Clerk. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are on the bills on second reading, which we do not have. So we're moving on to bills on third reading. Third reading and final passage on the consent list. We are at that order of bills on third reading and final passage. Mr. Majority Floor Leader, please.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move the third reading consent list consisting of the following bills: House Bill 23, House Bill 27, House Bill 42, House Bill 43, House Bill 61, House Bill 62, House Bill 103, House Bill 135, House Bill 173, House Bill 207, House Bill 214, House Bill 232, and Joint Resolution 4.
Would anyone like to remove any of these bills from the consent list? Representative Campbell.
Good morning. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Request that we remove House Bill 64, please.
It's already been taken off, so,
Off the consent list? Oh, good.
yep. Thank you, Representative Campbell. Anyone else like to remove a bill from the consent list? Seeing none? Seeing none? Having been read 3 separate times, the question is, I'm sorry, he's got to go through and read them all. Excuse me, go ahead.
House Joint Resolution 4, sponsored by Representative Stivar. Constitutional Amendment, Veterans Property Tax Exemption, a joint resolution specifying the exemption from property tax for property of fully disabled veterans. House Bill 23, sponsored by Transportation, Surrender Driver's License, Repeal, an act relating to motor vehicles. House Bill 27, sponsored by Transportation, Disabled Parking Windshields, Placards, Revisions, an act relating to motor vehicles. House Bill 42, sponsored by Representative Lawley, Regulation of Surgical Abortions, an act relating to public health and safety. House Bill 43, sponsored by Representative Lawley, Age Verification for Websites with Harmful Material, an act relating to child protection. House Bill 61, sponsored by Representative Banks, State Land Lease Preference Amendments, an act relating to state land leasing. House Bill 92, sponsored by Representative Heiner, Prostitution Amendments, an act relating to crimes and offenses. House Bill 103, sponsored by Representative Sherwood, Columbarium Regulation, an act relating to cemeteries and burials. House Bill 135, sponsored by Representative Gugamas, autologous or direct blood donations, an act relating to public health and safety. House Bill 173, sponsored by Representative Haroldson, independent candidate requirements, an act relating to elections. House Bill 207, sponsored by Representative Washit, Religious Freedom Restoration Act, an act relating to religious freedom. House Bill 214, sponsored by Representative Thayer, Local Government Payments, Electronic Payments, an act relating to cities, towns, and counties. House Bill 232, sponsored by Representative Haroldson, Election, Hand Counting for Recounts, an act relating to elections.
Having been read 3 separate times, the question is, shall these bills pass the House? Chief Clerk will call the roll.
Allemand? Andrew? Angelos? Banks? Bear? Brady? Bratton? Brown, Gary? Brown, Landon? Byron? Campbell, Elisa? Campbell, Kevin? Chestick? Clauston? Connolly? Davis? Eklund? Erickson? Feiler? Geringer? Guggenmoss? Haroldson? Harshman? Heiner? Heft? Jarvis? Johnson? Kelly? Knapp? Larson Lloyd? Larson JT, excused. Lawley? Lean? Locke? Lucas? McCann? Nicholas? Ottman? Pendergraft? Posey? Posey? Provenza? Riggins, excused. Rodriguez Williams? Schmid? Sherwood? Singh? Smith? Storer? Strock? Stivar? Tarver? Thayer? Washut? Wasserberger? Webb? Weber? Wharf? Williams? Winter? Wiley? Yin? Speaker Nyman. Are there any changes? Posey? No to aye. Further changes? Closing vote? Vote closed. 60 aye, 2 excused. As for House Bill 23, are there any changes? Are there any changes? Closing vote? Vote closed. 60 aye, 2 excused. As for House Bill 27, are there any changes? Are there any changes? Closing vote? Vote closed. 60 aye, 2 excused. As for House Bill 42, are there any changes? Byron, aye to no. Storer, aye to no. Yin, aye to no. Chestick, aye to no. Provenza, aye to no. Sherwood, aye to no. Nicholas, aye to no. Jarvis, aye to no. Further changes? Further changes. Closing vote? Vote closed. 52 aye, 8 no, 2 excused. As for House Bill 43, are there any changes? Are there any changes? Provenza, aye to no. Further changes. Closing vote? Vote closed. 59 aye, 1 no, 2 excused. As for House Bill 61, are there any changes? Are there any changes? Closing vote? Vote closed. 60 aye, 2 excused. As for House Bill 62, are there any changes? Are there any changes? Closing vote? Vote closed. 60 aye, 2 excused. As for House Bill 103, are there any changes? Are there any changes? Closing vote? Vote closed. 60 aye, 2 excused. As for House Bill 135, are there any changes? Provenza, aye. To no. Further changes? Further changes? Yin, aye. To no. Storer, aye. To no. Further changes? Closing vote. Vote closed. 57 aye, 3 no, 2 excused. As for House Bill 173, are there any changes? Larson Lloyd, aye. To no. Posey, aye. To no. Yin, aye. To no. Campbell Elisa, aye. To no. Chestick, aye. To no. Provenza, aye. To no. Sherwood, aye. To no. Nicholas, aye. To no. Harshman, aye. To no. Jarvis, aye. To no. Storer, aye. To no. Further changes? Further changes. Closing vote. Vote closed. 49 aye, 11 no, 2 excused. House Bill 207, are there any changes? Chestick, aye. To no. Provenza, aye. To no. Storer, aye. To no. Further changes? Further changes. Closing vote. Vote closed. 57 aye, 3 no, 2 excused. As for House Bill 214, are there any changes? Are there any changes? Closing vote. Vote closed. 60 aye, 2 excused. As for House Bill 232, are there any changes? Storer, aye. To no. Posey, aye. To no. Yin, aye. To no. Provenza, aye. To no. Sherwood, aye. To no. Chestick, aye. To no. Nicholas, aye. To no. Jarvis, aye. To no. Connolly, aye. To no. Further changes? Further changes. Closing vote. Vote closed. 51 aye, 9 no, 2 excused. As for House Joint 4, are there any changes? Are there any changes? Yin, aye. To no. Provenza, aye. To no. Further changes? Further changes. Closing vote. Vote closed. 58 aye, 2 no, 2 excused.
Having received the affirmative vote of the majority members elected to the House, House Bills 23, 27, 42, 43, 61, 62, 103, 135, 173, 207, 214, 232, and House Joint Resolution Number 4 have passed the House. Moving on, ladies and gentlemen, to bills on third reading, regular. We are at that order of bills on third reading, regular, and final passage. First bill for our consideration is House Bill 36.
House Bill 36, sponsored by Representative Harshman. Hathaway Scholarship Amendments, an act relating to the Hathaway Scholarship Program.
We have amendments. First amendment for our consideration is Representative Lloyd Larson.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'd move third reading amendment number 1 to House Bill 36. Folks, this is just another conversation on a committee of the whole amendment that we have that allows for the expenditure of this Hathaway scholarship funds to an accredited for-profit, nonprofit technical or trade school. The argument has been, now recall in this bill, we're expanding the use of the Hathaway to include more CTE type vocations. The problem with the amendment is that currently, as interpreted by our department that oversees the Hathaway, this is unconstitutional. They're not allowed to do it, even though we say we want you to do it, or we like it, or we think it's fine. And so, in talking with that highest executive yesterday, a pretty good conversation, but it all come back, but we can't now because we've been provided the information that it's not constitutional. Now, if we wanted to take this concept and work on it on an interim and try and figure out a way around it, for example, if you had students that was wanting to go to a technical college similar to the one that we have over the hill here, where they do a lot of automotive and truck repairs, that sort of stuff, perhaps there could be an agreement between a community college and that entity. Then the student could go to the community college, use the Hathaway, and then take classes at that technical school and allow for the technical school to be reimbursed by the community college. Something to those effects that allow us to get around there, because it really is valid that our kids wanting to go into technical vocations be able to use those dollars as best they can. But until legally we're allowed to do that, we need to make sure that these bills that we pass out of here meet that muster. So appreciate the idea, but it's our responsibility to make sure that these bills leave here appropriately. And so I would, again, similar to the second reading amendment, just make the motion to remove that committee of the whole amendment.
Thank you, Representative Larson. Representative Erickson for his first time.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I want to also echo the things that were just said by the representative from the land of the Tigers, and really emphasize to you how much work is being done, especially by our community colleges. And I can speak to the one that has water spring out of the rocks. They are making great strides towards getting more CTE-related programs going. Let's use those. Again, before this amendment in the committee of the whole, this was great to be able to expand those, and it gives everyone an opportunity, not just a select few, but lots of people that. And I would also echo the, excuse me, the number one education official in the state of Wyoming has told multiple people we can't hand it out with this amendment on it. So, or the earlier amendment on it. So again, let's go forward and work on those agreements, but let's not add this committee of the whole amendment on. So in favor of the most recent amendment. Thank you.
Thank you, Representative. Representative Thayer for your first time.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Again, I'm going to say some of the same things, but more importantly, this is a great bill for the bringer of this bill, and this is a good amendment. And I want to see it. I know that my House district is for this CTE, or technical and trade school, since it's in the amendment. That is one of our number one things we're pushing through in our county. We want to be able to execute this bill, so I don't want it to be held up in litigation on and for this amendment.
Thank you, Representative Thayer. Representative Harshman for your first time.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. On and for, and I appreciate the discussion. Just kind of back up and what the bill was brought for. It was really a constituent that reached out. They're kid was in a program at our community colleges that requires on-the-job training, and so they take multiple years. Okay, it takes like 4 years to become a journeyman. And so they only take one class per semester, and then it's on-the-job training hours. Well, you're not classified then as a full-time student, so you don't qualify for Hathaway money, because you have to be a full-time student, take 12 credit hours. The other problem is the Hathaway will run out at the community college in 2 years. Program lasts 4 years. So we're talking about like these certificates that are journeyman and then eventually masters. So you're talking about electricians, plumbers, construction. Okay? Now, I too was asked to bring the same amendment by the person representing the school over the hill. And I've been in that school, I've visited it, as I mentioned in previous debate, but and I just got off their website, but it's collision, diesel mechanics, fabrication, and welding. And those programs last 6 to 9 months. A lot of work, they got unbelievable shops, they work, learn a trade, and they're done in 6 months and get a certificate. That is a totally different thing than this journeyman license, required to wire your house or plumb your house. And so, and all these collision, diesel, auto, welding, these things are currently offered in degree programs at our community colleges, which have campuses really, and learning facilities across our state. I think there's 41 different campuses throughout our community. So it just doesn't fit this bill. And I don't want, there's Wyoming kids out here that could really benefit from this, and we're gonna need them wiring and plumbing and building our houses. And I don't want this amendment to be a bill killer as it goes through the process. So I urge your support of this amendment. Keep this a clean bill. It's going to do some good right away for our kids out there who are going into these and move it forward. So thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Representative. Any others for their first time? Any other representatives, first time? Seeing none, second time? Nobody at the mics. Question being called. Members, you're being asked to vote on third reading amendment number 1 to House Bill 36. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, no. No. The amendment has been adopted. Division being called. All those in favor, please stand. You may be seated. The amendment has been adopted. Members, it's a good idea when we're taking third reading, any kind of these votes here, you need to be here. We don't want to drag this out any longer than necessary. So, okay, that has been adopted. We have another amendment, House Bill 36, Amendment number 2, brought by Rodriguez-Williams. Ms. Williams, Representative.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Because of the outcome of the last amendment, I am going to respectfully withdraw this amendment.
Without objection, the amendment that has been withdrawn. Okay. House Bill 36, having been read 3 separate times, the question is, shall the bill pass? Chief Clerk, please call the roll.
Allemand? Andrew? Angelos? Banks? Bear? Brady? Bratton? Brown? Gary? Brown? Landon? Byron? Campbell Elisa? Campbell Kevin? Chestick? Clauston? Connolly? Davis? Eklund? Erickson? Feiler? Geringer? Guggenmoss? Haroldson? Harshman? Heiner? Heft? Jarvis? Johnson? Kelly? Knapp? Larson Lloyd? Larson JT? Lawley? Lean? Locke? Lucas? McCann? Nicholas? Ottman? Pendergraft? Posey? Provenza? Riggins, excused. Rodriguez Williams? Schmid? Sherwood? Singh? Smith? Storr? Strock? Stivar? Tarver? Thayer? Washut? Wasserberger? Webb? Weber? Worf? Williams? Winter? Wiley? Yin? Mr. Speaker, are there any changes? Are there any changes? Closing vote. Vote closed. 61 aye, 1 excused.
House Bill 36, having received the affirmative vote of the majority of the members elected to the House, House Bill 36 has passed the House. The next bill for our consideration will be House Bill 63.
House Bill 63, sponsored by Representative Rodriguez Williams, Working Animal Protection Act, an act relating to counties, cities, and towns.
We have amendments. Let me get back into here. Representative Provenza, please.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move third reading amendment number 1 for your favorable consideration. I will withdraw it at the appropriate time. No one here, I think, abuses animals, nor did you endorse that idea. And while PETA may disagree with some of Wyoming's heritage, I'm not here to debate or even acronyms. Okay, well, so say the people that eat tasty animals.
Yes, thank you, Representative Provenza, for clearing that up.
You're welcome, Mr. Speaker. Well, the folks that eat tasty animals might have issue with Wyoming's heritage. I don't, and I'm proud of being a product of Western heritage. Mr. Chairman, I raised horses at one point, and one of my fondest childhood experiences were spent on horseback. And like many of you, I've had special relationships with horses. And that's why I want to consider this bill more after talking with a member of my community that runs a large animal rescue farm, which includes horses, donkeys, etc. One example she sent me was a rancher with 30 to 50 horses, including stallions, mares, and foals penned in an unsheltered corral, kicking and fighting each other over woefully inadequate scraps of food. Some had open sores with maggots in them. Nearby fields were strewn with horse carcasses left half-eaten by ranch dogs who were also unfed. This was a business. And this person had 98 horses taken from them before. Another case involved an outfitter that tied a pack horse to a fence by their back hind legs, and then with a rope and a tractor pulled the horse apart from the other end. That horse died. For those of you who have cut the tail of a beloved horse colleague, I'm sure you don't want to protect those that give you a bad name. A dude ranch in my neighboring county has chosen to let aging horses starve to death rather than humanely feeding them after all the work that they've done for him. They've made him plenty of money, but he prefers to set them out to starve in the winter. Right now, those horses can be taken and rescued. With this law, they might not be. Another case in my county, a woman with a business pertaining to animals was hoarding animals, and a neighbor nearby flew a drone over her property to demonstrate
Point
the
of
number.
order.
Representative, what's your point?
Mr. Speaker, this bill is not about animal cruelty. This bill is about preserving Wyoming's Western way of life, and it deals specifically with working animals.
Mr. Speaker, I'd argue that these were working animals in businesses. I'm talking about outfitters, dude ranches, and these are how they treated their animals. And under this law, they would be allowed to do so. I think it's relevant.
I will allow it. Proceed.
In the case of the woman in my county that had dozens of dead working animals on her property, she needed an intervention. And with this law, she might not be able to be given one. No one could necessarily intervene. They were her working animals. They were her tools. And so I want to ask you, body, what problem are we trying to solve here? We're afraid of a few protesters who have never came here and successfully harmed our way of life. We're more invested in allowing for protections of the anti-cowboys that give us a bad name. If this is the sort of treatment we're okay with, then maybe people should protest. You know, when this bill came before, the big daddy of them all came and testified against it because it put into jeopardy, into question, how the rodeo people handled their animals. And we don't want to give the rest of the country an idea that we're okay with pulling horses apart by their hind legs and their necks on a fence. We don't want to tell the rest of the country that we're okay with dude ranches letting their animals starve to death. That's not Wyoming. That's not our heritage. Please vote no on the bill.
Any others? Representative Eklund for your first time.
Mr. Speaker, so I don't see anywhere in the bill where there are repealers on the animal treatment statutes and abuse statutes, and we worked those pretty. I think we worked those at length in this body before, and I kind of think that those laws would kick in regardless of what's being done here. If there are animals being abused, those laws, I would guess, might take precedence. If I'm wrong on that, somebody correct me.
Thank you, Representative Eklund. Representative Connolly, first time.
Good morning, Mr. Speaker.
Representative Connolly?
I don't have a problem with trying to keep outsiders from keeping, I don't want them to tell us that we can't have rodeos and we can't do those things. But where I'm a little confused is in the part of the bill that says that the commissioners and the cities and the city officials and towns are prohibited from, am I misinterpreting that? That our local officials are prohibited from working on this? Guess I just need that answered. Thank you.
Thank you, Representative Connolly. Any others for their first time? Representative Yin, first time.
Mr. Speaker, thank you. So from my understanding for reading the bill, I do think that our animal cruelty standards would hold, but it also means that at the same time, our local governments wouldn't be able to even have similar animal cruelty standards that apply to working animals. So if a town or county wanted to, or I mean, mostly specifically a town, wanted to have similar animal cruelty standards to us so they could take them to municipal court, they wouldn't be able to do that.
Thank you, Representative Yin. Any other members for their first time? Going once, going twice, second time on the amendment, or excuse, yes, on the amendment. None? Back to the bringer, Representative Provenza.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I think there's still questions about the unintended consequences of this bill to the good former chairman from the county we're in. There's nothing in, there are certain aspects of this bill that say that we might not protect them, and you certainly are giving them a legal defense if they own a business. That's the concern. All the examples I gave to you are working animals, working businesses. Do you want to give them a defense in court so that they aren't tried? So I ask for you to vote no on this bill, and at this time, Mr. Speaker, I withdraw third reading amendment number 1.
Thank you, Representative. Without objection, the amendment has been withdrawn. Members, you are having been read 3 separate times, House Bill 63 separate times. The question is, shall the bill pass? Chief Clerk, please call the roll.
Allemand? Andrew? Angelos? Banks? Bear? Brady? Bratton? Brown Gary? Brown Landon? Byron? Campbell Elisa? Campbell Kevin? Chestick? Clouston? Connolly? Davis? Eklund? Erickson? Filer? Geringer? Guggenmoss? Haroldson? Harshman? Repeat, I'm sorry. Heiner? Heft? Jarvis? Johnson? Kelly? Knapp? Larson Lloyd? Larson JT? Lawley? Lean? Locke? Lucas? McCann? Nicholas? Ottman? Pendergraft? Posey? Provenza? Riggins, excused. Rodriguez Williams? Schmid? Sherwood? Singh? Smith? Storer? Strzok? Stivar? Tarver? Thayer? Washut? Wasserberger? Webb? Weber? Worf? Williams? Winter? Wiley? Yin? Mr. Speaker,
Aye.
are there any changes? Are there any changes? Closing vote. Vote closed. 53 aye, 8 no, 1 excused.
House Bill 63, having received the affirmative vote of the majority of the members elected to the House, House Bill 63 has passed the House. Next bill for our consideration will be House Bill 64.
House Bill 64 is sponsored by Representative Nyman. Chemical abortions, ultrasound requirement. An act relating to abortions.
We have amendments. Representative Campbell. Please.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move third reading Amendment 1 to House Bill 64. You relocated.
Please proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Excuse me, have you moved the bill?
I did.
Representative Campbell? Okay, thank you.
Would you like me to again?
No, please,
Okay.
please proceed.
Okay.
I was in transition here.
You are. Thank you, sir. So with this amendment, my hope, my goal, my true objective is to maintain the integrity of the bill and also protect and preserve the individual rights in terms of their health care. So how do we very carefully strike that balance? This amendment will do that. So you will see on page 1, line 1, we're going to delete the word requiring and insert allowing an opportunity for. Page 1, line 2, after abortions, insert providing exceptions. Page 4, line 1, we're going to delete pregnant woman and insert physician. Page 4, line 2, we're going to delete the line through provide and insert inform. Page 4, line 3, after woman, insert of, and before active, we're going to delete the and insert N. Page 5, after line 13, we will insert, and this is where the providing exceptions comes from. This section shall not apply to a chemical abortion with the intent to save the life of the pregnant woman, ameliorate a serious risk of causing the pregnant woman substantial and irreversible impairment of a major bodily function, preserve the health of the unborn child, remove a dead unborn child, or remove an ectopic pregnancy. So truly, the intent of this amendment is to preserve the integrity and compassion, as the bringer has brought, and maintain the rights of the individuals to make those decisions without the government mandating what will or will not be in their bodies. Thank you.
Thank you, Representative. Any other discussion on third reading amendment number 1 to House Bill 64? Speaker Nyman.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Body, I would push back against this. I mean, this is undermining what we're trying to accomplish, and this basic understanding or the idea behind this legislation is to provide for gestational age of the baby so that we can determine whether or not the amount of chemical is being correctly administered to make it both, I hate to say this, but I mean, it's going to make it quicker for the child to the life to be ended, and it will be safer for the mother that is taking these chemicals. And it just boils back to this was a requirement when these two drugs were initially put out to perform this procedure. This was a requirement. They believed, and the administrators of this and the people that the drug manufacturers believed that this was necessary in order for the drugs to work properly. And it goes back to the same idea that we need this, I believe, because this is being taken without medical supervision. And so there again, if a drug is designed to do a specific thing at a specific time, then how do we determine that without this method and this requirement? And again, I will go back and I push back on this idea that this is taking away rights. Actually, this is providing rights to some that don't have rights, or their rights are being taken away from, and it is providing an opportunity for protection for those that decide to choose this path. And I do believe that this is a necessary piece of legislation, and Body, I would push back against this amendment.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Any other discussion for the first time? For the first time, any other discussion? Chairman Washut, please proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just a question for the bringer of the amendment. On line 27, you talk about administering the chemical abortion drug to preserve the health of the unborn child. Can you explain to me how taking an abortifacient drug can preserve the health of the unborn child?
Thank you, Chairman. Any other discussion on Amendment 1 to third reading House Bill 64 for the first time? Any other discussion for the first time? Representative Brown.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I would just ask that we remember what this does, and let's just have some compassion. Thank you.
Thank you, Representative. I see someone approaching the podium. Representative Harshman, please proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. To answer the question, I think the good representative from the middle of the state, Natrona County, I think what this does is it refers to the offering of the ultrasound, not administering the drug. As I read that, I think, and I guess that's my question, does this move this from required ultrasound to offered ultrasound? I think that's what we used to have in our law before it was repealed. But anyway, that's my question. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Representative. Any other discussion for the first time? For the first time, seeing none. Second time. Any discussion for the second time? For the second time, going once, going twice. Back to Representative Campbell. Please proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So yes, thank you for the clarity provided by my workmates. That does refer to the use of a transvaginal ultrasound and having that option. So it is an option to preserve the health of, is what that is in reference to. So while I very much appreciate the intent to how do we prevent undue harm for these women and the unborn with the use of these chemicals, how do we ensure that it is done properly and will not inflict harm? There are other ways to determine gestational age. Transvaginal ultrasound is not the only option. So what we're doing is forcing these individuals into one option. We're taking away the other options available to them to determine that that gestational age. So giving them, here are the options. Yes, it is important that we determine gestational age for the effectiveness of these chemicals, and let's give them options. So they and their healthcare provider can decide which path is going to be the most effective in ensuring the wellness and well-being of both. But by the state mandating this is the only choice you have, does restrict their rights in terms of their health care and the patient-doctor relationship. It removes that option. Strongly encourage a yes on this amendment. Thank you.
Thank you, Representative. Members, we are voting on third reading amendment number 1 to House Bill 64. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, please signify by a nay. No. Well, that was pretty easy. That amendment has not been adopted.
Good job. Thank you, Majority Leader. House Bill 64 having been read 3 separate times, the question is, shall the bill pass? Chief Clerk, please call the roll.
Allemand? Andrew? Angelos? Banks? Bear? Brady? Bratton? Brown, Gary? Brown, Landon? Byron? Campbell, Elisa? Campbell, Kevin? Chestick? Clouston? Connolly? Davis? Eklund? Erickson? Filer? Geringer? Guggenmoss? Haroldson? Harshman? Heiner? Heft? Jarvis? Johnson? Kelly? Knapp? Larson Lloyd? Larson JT? Lawley? Lean? Locke? Lucas? McCann? Nicholas? Ottman? Pendergraft? Posey? Provenza? Riggins excused. Rodriguez Williams? Schmid? Sherwood? Singh? Smith? Storer? Strzok? Stivar? Tarver? Thayer? Washut? Wasserberger? Webb? Weber? Worf? Williams? Winter? Wiley? Yin? Mr. Speaker, are there any changes? Knapp, no to aye. Further changes? Further changes. Closing vote. Vote closed. 48 aye, 13 no, 1 excused.
House Bill 64, having received affirmative vote of the majority of the members elected to the House, House Bill 64 has passed the House. Next bill for our consideration is House Bill 131.
House Bill 131, sponsored by Representative Knapp. Ballot drop boxes, prohibition, an act relating to elections.
We have amendments. Representative Larson Lloyd, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'd like to move third reading amendment number 1 to House Bill 131. And folks, what this would do is allow for drop boxes to be used in special election districts throughout Wyoming, where we're a very rural state. We have special elections for conservation districts, cemetery districts, hospital districts. So a lot of these that are not the populace as a whole, but even focus more on the rural citizens of our county, and having to accommodate their schedules to get in. This is an effort to accommodate the ability for them to vote when they're around the courthouse. And in our county clerk has a drop box that's monitored and sends her messages if somebody is not messages, actual video, if somebody's loitering around the drop box. And so if she's home and she lives a ways from town, she lives in another rural part of the county, 24 hours a day, if there's somebody around that, she gets notified need. These drop boxes are very secure, and it provides an opportunity for those who are voting in special district elections to have the ability to use that to give more flexibility and provide our citizens a chance to vote. I'd ask for your support.
Thank you, Representative Larson. Representative Knapp, for your first time.
Mr. Speaker, thank you. This seems like a simple amendment, but it actually muddies the water and is very confusing. Special districts have an act, an elections act, that they follow for their elections, and it is the clerk's option whether she decides to run the election for the special district or whether the special district runs the election for themselves. But one thing that the clerks are not responsible for, if they don't, is the way the election is administered and run if they're not the ones running it. So there's a separate statute for this, for special elections, and it kind of muddies the water to mix the two, if I'm not mistaken.
Thank you, Representative Knapp. Any others for your first time? First time on the amendment. Second time? Representative Larson. Second time.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And to the bringer of the bill, I think what adds clarity to this is the statute that it's in. So this would be special elections that the county clerk is given responsibility over.
Thank you, Representative. Members, you are voting on third reading amendment number 1 to House Bill 131. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, no. No. The amendment has not been adopted. Third reading amendment number 2 to House Bill 131. Representative Yin, please.
Mr. Speaker, thank you. I move third reading amendment number 2 to House Bill 131 and ask for your favorable consideration. So members, this is the little clarification that I said I would bring to you at our last reading. So when we took away the service that provides our mail in the blue boxes, that language, when we took away that language, we made it more vague. So we said they can accept it when it's mailed. And so I just want to make it clear that it is through any carrier, just so we can make sure that no one can accuse our election officers again of breaking the law when they accept something through another carrier like that orange and purple carrier that has those clear priority envelopes, or any other carrier. So with that, I ask for your favorable consideration.
Thank you, Representative Yin. Any members for their first time? First time? May have a member making his way to the microphone. First time, Representative Alaman, please.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. What I'd like to know from the good bringer is what is a carrier? Could an egregious person in little glass slippers get an incorporation through our state and become a carrier of one? That's what concerns me. Thank you.
Any others for their first time? First time? Second time? Seeing none, Representative Young.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Again, if we don't have a language that defines what is mailed, then we open up the issue where someone could say, I mailed it through, again, the carrier with the orange and purple. Why doesn't that shouldn't count, or that should count? We need to remove that ambiguity. That's all it does.
Thank you, Representative Yin. Members, you are voting on third reading amendment number 2 to House Bill 131. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. All those opposed, no. The amendment has not been adopted. Next amendment for our consideration is House Bill 131, amendment number 3. Representative Yin, please.
Mr. Speaker, thank you. So this, I bring before you again, I move third reading amendment number 3 to House Bill 131. Members, this is another option for you guys. So what this does, it brings back the United States Postal Service. So that's going to be in the amendment under this definition of the amendment. So for domestic mail only, it must be the United States Postal Service. But for anything overseas, we allow any other carrier. So that still allows those folks that are overseas that we heard that concern on second reading, still allows them and still provides a little bit more clarity to our clerks.
Thank you, Representative Yin. Any members for their first time? Seeing none, second time, Representative Yin. Members, you're being asked to decide on third reading amendment number 3 to House Bill 131. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, no. No. Chair's in doubt. All those in favor, please stand. I'm down. Okay, members, please sit. All those opposed, please stand, and stand still. This is extremely close. Okay, you may be seated. The amendment has not been adopted. 29 to 31. House Bill 131 having been read 3 separate times. The question is, shall the bill pass? Chief Clerk, please call the roll.
Allemand? Andrew? Angelos. Banks. Bear. Brady. Bratton. Brown Gary. Brown Landon. Byron. Campbell Elisa. Campbell Kevin. Chestick. Clouston. Connolly. Davis. Eklund. Erickson. Filer. Geringer. Guggenross. Haroldson. Harshman. Heiner. Heft. Jarvis. Johnson. Kelly. Knapp. Larson Lloyd. Larson JT. Lawley. Lean. Locke. Lucas. McCann. Nicholas. Ottman. Pendergraft. Posey. Provenza. Reagan's excused. Rodriguez Williams. Schmid. Sherwood. Singh. Smith. Storr. Strzok. Stivar. Tarver. Thayer. Washut. Wasserberger. Webb. Weber. Worf. Williams. Winter. Wiley. Yin. Mr. Speaker. Are there any changes? Brown? Are there any changes? Closing vote. Vote closed. 51 aye, 10 no, 1 excused.
House Bill 131, having received the affirmative vote of the majority of the members elected to the House, House Bill 131 has passed the House. Next bill for our consideration will be House Bill 160. Reading clerk.
House Bill 160, sponsored by Representative Tarver. Voter identification revisions, an act relating to elections.
We have amendments. First amendment comes from Representative Sherwood. House Bill 160. Representative Sherwood, please.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move third reading amendment to House Bill 160, and I ask you for your favorable consideration. The amendment before you preserves the right of our university students over the Hill to use their government-issued student IDs. Reasons for: 1, these are my constituents, most important reason. 2, it's hard enough to convince students to do anything, much less vote, so let's not make it any harder than it should be. The student ID that the university across the Hill issues includes all of the standard security features of a government-issued ID because the university is a government agency. So it meets those same standards as, say, like a concealed carry permit does. You must show a form of government-issued ID to secure a UW student ID. Denying the validity of school-issued IDs in this instance sends mixed messages to our young folks about civic engagement. It undermines their participation in our democratic process. We should be making it more accessible, offering those carrots and encouragements for our students to vote and make their voices heard. Without this amendment, the bill is a step in the wrong direction. So I'm asking you to please not disenfranchise our young Polk voters over the Hill. Thank you.
Thank you, Representative. Any others for their first time? Representative Tarver, for your first time.
Mr. Speaker, I would urge a no vote on this amendment. Life's pretty tough. We might as well just figure out how to go get our license and/or Wyoming ID, and this will be a good lesson for them. They might have to pre-plan a few minutes ahead of schedule to get it handled, but this will be a good way to get it started for them. Thanks.
Thank you, Representative Tarver. Any others for the first time? Representative Knapp, for your first time.
On and against the amendment. You know, there comes a time when we use the word disenfranchisement a lot. Typically, that's when there is no other options. There are other options here. This is not an official ID. You know, maybe we'd all love it if we could just vote from home, laying on the couch, pressing a button and eating our Cheetos. But there's some responsibility to voting too. And the students need to understand that. If they're in a line, they forgot their ID, they need to go get their ID. There's other methods, there's the Wyoming ID, then this source, which is not an official ID.
Thank you, Representative. Any others? Representative Chestick, for your first time.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. On and in favor of the amendment. I'd just like to respond briefly to the comments from the good representative from County 17 that suggested that the students, if they really want to vote, they should just go get a driver's license. Number one, there may be students who are unable to get driver's licenses, those who may be disabled, those who may have epilepsy or other conditions that disqualify them from getting driver's licenses. They should be allowed to vote, and they should be allowed to use their student IDs to do that. I urge a yes vote on this amendment.
Thank you, Representative Chestick. Any others for their first time? First time? No others? Second time? Representative Knapp.
Mr. Chairman, just to the last representative that spoke, it's not just a driver's license. We also created in Wyoming a Wyoming ID, and that was for people who do have those considerations, whether you're a senior or whether you're a student. Thank you.
Thank you, Representative Knapp. Any others for their second time? Seeing none, back to the bringer. Representative Sherwood, please.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker and body. Just want to remind you, this is law today. So students at the University over the Hill today can use their student IDs to go vote. And there was a huge campaign and a lot of effort put into a Pokes vote messaging, letting the students know that they can use their ID to go vote and to exercise that right to vote. So if we don't include this amendment, all of that work in terms of awareness and civic engagement is eroded. And again, I ask you to please don't make it any harder for the students at the University over the Hill to exercise their constitutional right to vote. Thank you.
Members, you are voting on third reading amendment number 1 to House Bill 160. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, no. No. The amendment has not been adopted. Next amendment, third reading to House Bill 160, Representative Yin. Please.
Mr. Speaker, thank you. So I move third reading amendment number 2 to House Bill 160, yes, and ask for your favorable consideration. So members, I sit next to the sponsor. I just chatted with him. Is it okay, just for transparency's sake, for the public to understand what we're doing with this policy change? And so it's just renaming the catch title. So when people look at it on the website, they know what it actually does. That's all.
Thank you, Representative Yin. Representative Tarver, for your first time.
Mr. Speaker, I would consider this a friendly amendment if this is what the body wants.
Thank you, Representative. Any others for their first time? Representative Pendergraft, first time.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I would urge you to resist this amendment. This actually doesn't repeal these IDs. These IDs are still valid in their own use. We're just talking about what is valid in a vote.
Thank you, Representative. Representative Ottman, for your first time. Please proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I would just look for some verification too on whether or not we can change catch titles. Thank you.
Any others for their first time? Seeing none, second time. Back to the bringer, Representative Yin.
Mr. Speaker, yes, we can change catch titles. So be aware. And then 2, the catch title isn't renamed to student ID repeal. We're not repealing student IDs. It's just making clear that for voter ID, student ID for voter ID, we are repealing that.
Thank you, Representative Yin. Body, you are voting on third reading amendment number 2 to House Bill 160. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, no. No. Chair's in doubt. If you're on the aye side, please stand. Thank you, members. You may be seated. The chair should not be in doubt. Those opposed, more than 22, so the amendment has not been adopted. That is it for amendments to House Bill 160. House Bill 160, having been read 3 separate times, the question is, shall the bill pass? Chief Clerk, please call the roll.
Allemand. Andrew. Angelos. Banks. Bear. Brady. Bratton. Brown, Gary. Brown, Landon. Byron. Campbell, Elisa. Campbell, Kevin. Chestick. Clouston. Connolly. Davis. Eklund. Erickson. Filer. Geringer. Guggenmoss. Haroldson. Harshman. Heiner. Heft. Jarvis. Johnson. Kelly. Knapp. Larson Lloyd. Larson JT. Lawley. Lean. Locke. Lucas. McCann. Nicholas. Ottman. Pendergraft. Posey. Provenza. Riggins, excused. Rodriguez Williams. Schmid. Sherwood. Singh. Smith. Storer. Strock. Stivar. Tarver. Thayer. Washut. Wasserberger. Webb. Weber. Wharf. Williams. Winter. Wiley. Yin. Mr. Speaker, are there any changes? Are there any changes? Closing vote. Vote closed. 53 aye, 8 no, 1 excused.
House Bill 160, having received the affirmative vote of the majority of the members elected to the House, House Bill 160 has passed the House. Next bill for our consideration will be House Bill 258.
House Bill 258, sponsored by House Appropriations, State-Funded Capital Construction, an act relating to state-funded capital construction.
We have amendments. First amendment to House Bill 258, Representative Wiley, please.
Mr. Speaker, hold on, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, thank you. Batting average is horrible over there. I need to move podiums. I'd like to move third reading amendment to House Bill 258 and ask for your favorable consideration. And with that, I will explain the amendment. So yesterday, we sat here and we had good debate on the floor and wanted to take another swing. Took the advisement of the good recovering engineer from the capital city. And, we're okay. We're all right with pulling our weight and hard work. So here we are as an amendment. We will match dollar for a $3 million appropriation. And this is to help with the Bitter Creek issues. I'm sure you're all still aware of that. And then just some of the numbers and stuff that we're dealing with. The new construction and all the development that my community is getting ready for right now is 6,000 non-permanent construction jobs for this economic growth that we're going to bring to the state, and 1,000 permanent positions for families that are going to be, held up throughout the county. The majority of this will probably come to Rock Springs, Green River, beautiful place to live, great community. They're kind of hamstringed on their ability to build and grow. The growth will probably go to the city to the east. So I ask you, please think about this. We're saying we'll match dollar for dollar. We're going to move not for the whole thing, but a little bitty bite and another Band-Aid. $3 million. I ask for your favorable consideration. Thank you.
Thank you, Representative. Any members for their first time? Representative Bear for his first time.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Again, I would urge a no vote as we've done in the previous readings. No on the amendment.
Thank you, Representative Bear. Representative Davis for your first time.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise in support of this. Living in a valley with an unregulated river, it can cause some issues, I think that if we're looking at the development there in the southwest corner of Wyoming, this would be Money very well spent. Thank you.
Thank you, Representative Davis. Representative Larson, JT, for your first time.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and I'd just like to reiterate that the way we drafted this new language is the city has to raise enough money up to the 3 million before the LSRA money kicks in. So that money will not kick in until the city's raised $3 million. So if we don't raise it, then we don't get the LSRA money. So I encourage an aye vote.
Thank you, Representative Larson. Any other members for their first time? Representative Larson, Lloyd, first time.
Appreciate the work these two are doing for their city. And, you know, yesterday we talked about other projects we've done. I think there's, for this amount, we've done, I think this overpass we looked at in the capital city was around 4 million. I think the pipeline up in the coal country that was named after the president whose wife's name was Dolly was 217 million, because that town was expanding and providing severance taxes to the state. All of that wasn't, all of that, some of that was out of the Water Development Fund, and some is, and a good portion of it was general fund. As we see this community trying to get ready as one of the major communities in that part of the state, they've continually tried to address the impacts of what was created by coal in diverting water. So I would, again, encourage us that maybe we give them a hand, and this is a pretty meager amount, and ask for your support.
Representative Nicholas, first time, please.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. On and in favor of the amendment, ladies and gentlemen. So we've got already 30 million that we're giving for the La Prairie Dam, and now the ask is going up to 90 million. And why do we do this? We do it because this is part of our function as in this legislature, is we give those communities a helping hand when they need it. We did it for a water tower. It was up above in a town just immediately north of here last year. And we all know that through the SBC, we typically, I think our budget last year was around 74 million, all that went to small water projects around the state of Wyoming in one fashion or another. That's what we do. We help those that can't fully help themselves, and we help our cities. And this particular request is unique in that they have to raise the money first and spend and allocate the money before this money is even available. And this only lasts 2 years. So if they don't do it in 2 years, the money comes back to us. $3 million is, out of a $10 billion budget, is not too much to ask. So, on and in favor.
Thank you, Representative. Representative Thayer, for your first time.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I want to thank the bringer of this amendment. This is being fiscally responsible. I am on and for this amendment. This is about a community that gives to this body in revenues. It then ripples to industry. You know, in Section 3, they do have to raise the money first. But what's important is, did we look at Section B? There is an agency that takes care of the bad things, and if they are applying for a grant and they get that money, they're giving that money, that allocated money back to the state. This is being fiscally responsible. So thank you. I on and for this amendment.
Thank you, Representative. Representative McCann, for your first time.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'm for this amendment. I think my cohorts from Sweetwater have certainly shown due diligence and trying to make this happen. The can's been kicked down the road far enough. Thank you.
Thank you, Representative McCann. Representative Yin, for your first time.
Mr. Speaker, thank you. I want Wyoming to succeed. And for Wyoming to succeed, that means all of our communities need to succeed. This is something that can let Rock Springs succeed, build
Well, you're just
business.
full of it, aren't you?
Do you want that for your own community? I know you do. I want it for mine. I hope we want it for all of our communities. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Representative Yin. Any others for their first time? Any other members want to speak for their first time? Seeing none, second time. Representative Davis, second time.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. This brings up a question to me is what constitutes an emergency? You know, this is an emergency. Well, maybe last year it wasn't an emergency or the year before, but by the way it's sitting, you know, we're in an emergency budget session. But this emergency is existing over there. This approach is a good approach by the community to try and secure these funds. You know, this approach is used many times. This body does this a lot with the institution across the hill here, you know, in order to secure federal funds and things like that by having these funds available. I just think this should go forth. We should vote for this amendment.
Thank you, Representative Davis. Any other members for their first time? First. That's it? I guess second time, Representative Larson. Lloyd.
You know, I was really proud of the body as we stood and decided that the funding for a school up in the north east part of the state was important, and we rallied behind that. We've done that this session. I can't remember how many million that was, but it was more than 2. And I think that this falls in line with that, and would hope that we would rally behind the other communities in the state that have similar problems, and again, encourage us to support this.
Thank you, Representative. Any others for their second time? Second time, seeing none. Back to the bringer, Representative Wiley.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Again, to the good body, you know, folks in Sweetwater, they're hardworking. We're no slouches. Now we're putting our money where our mouth is. If we can't get it done in 2 years, the money reverts back. I will remind the body again that we are the third or the fourth largest contributor to state coffers annually. And that money goes to everybody else's projects. It helps all the communities throughout Wyoming, and we're okay with that. But now we just need a little bit of help to where we can grow these industries and prop up our communities in a constructive and efficient way. Help us help you. I please encourage an aye vote, and I'd like to do 12-4 for ayes and noes, Mr. Speaker.
It's already there.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks, Chief. Thanks, Chief.
Yep. Representatives, just as a reminder, per our rules 11-3, all amendments that provide appropriation or reduce appropriation are going to be roll calls. So this is the first of many we're going to be dealing with. So Chief Clerk, please call the roll.
Allemande? Andrew? Angelos? Banks? Bear? Brady? Bratton? Brown Gary? Brown Landon? Byron? Campbell Elisa? Campbell Kevin? Chestick? Clouston? Connolly? Davis? Eklund? Erickson? Filer? Geringer? Guggenmoss? Haroldson? Harshman? Heiner? Heft? Jarvis? Johnson? Kelly? Knapp? Larson Lloyd? Larson JT? Lawley? Lean? Locke? Lucas? McCann? Nicholas? Ottman? Pendergraft? Posey? Provenza? Riggins, excused. Rodriguez Williams? Schmid? Sherwood? Singh? Smith? Storer? Strzok? Stivar. Tarver. Thayer. Washut. Wasserberger. Webb. Weber. Wharf. Williams. Winter. Wiley. Yin. Mr. Speaker, are there any changes? Are there any changes? Heiner? No to aye. Further changes? Further changes? Wharf? No to aye. Further changes? Geringer? No to aye. Further changes? Heiner? Aye. Aye to no. Further changes? Further changes? Closing vote? Vote closed. 30 aye, 31 no, 1 excused.
By your vote, you have decided not to adopt third reading amendment number 1 to House Bill 258. Next amendment for our consideration to House Bill 258, amendment number 2. Representative Harshman, please.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'd move third reading amendment number 2 to House Bill 258. Ask your favorable consideration. Members asked yesterday on an amendment for $5 million for this project out of the Tourism Reserve and Special Projects and Projects account. That account has $14.8 million. The body chose not to do that, so I came back with a smaller number. I spoke with the general and the directors of the museum. So again, the building is 80 years old. It is not ADA compliant. It's not even have gutters on the thing, and it needs work. This whole area needs work, and I think the other piece of this, obviously, is the saving our history. I mean, we have 70,000 artifacts donated by the people of Wyoming representing 23 counties. So tomorrow, I think the coming days will be a budget amendment to take $3 million from this same account for the shooting complex up in Park County. This Wyoming State Veterans Museum served 10,000 people last year. So I appreciate your support and to save our history and as we move forward, and such an incredible piece here. And so, but we gotta appreciate your help and support. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Representative Harshman. Representative Pendergraft for your first time.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Again, I urge a no vote, just as we've given before. At some point, folks, we've got to turn off the faucet.
Any other members for your first time? Representative Washut, Chairman for your first time.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. So again, folks, this is a tax on our lodging and so forth, and tourists come here. About 80% of this money in this account is paid by non-residents, and it exists. The legislature created this account specifically for projects like this. That's why it exists. We created it so that we would have a funding resource. This is not general fund. This is not LSRA. This is a fund created from our tourists largely, and much of that tax is paid by people visiting 2 counties in our whole state. And this is just a small amount of money, goes a long way towards showing our ability to honor and remember the veterans from this state, without whom our state wouldn't be what it is. And so if you're a supporter of our veterans, we had that other joint resolution a little while ago, and I think that was strongly supported by this body. And this Veterans Museum also ought to be strongly supported by this body.
Thank you, Representative Harshman. Representative Davis for your first time.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I stand in support of this. You know, I look at it maybe a little bit different here, which You guys probably can all admire that, but this is maintenance. I mean, we've got a facility out there. Do we just defer maintenance on all these things? I don't, this building needs work. Our schools need work, so we dedicate funds to keeping them up. This building is not much different. It needs the funds, it needs to be brought into compliance so we can use it. It is a tourist attraction. I'm in favor of this.
Thank you, Representative Davis. Representative Schmid, for your first time.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. These are all nice projects, but we've been battling a property tax issue for years that we still don't have an answer to. And we're not going to fix that property tax issue if we continue to spend $3 million here, $5 million there, all around the state. Let's fix the property tax issue for the folks first. They've been waiting a long time before we move on to spending for these other special projects. On and against the amendment.
Thank you, Representative. Representative Brown, for your first time.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Ladies and gentlemen, we're not talking about property tax whatsoever with this particular amendment. This tax, the money that's coming out of this tax, comes out of the tourism budget, and it's a reserve account for these exact types of projects. As was just stated, about 90% of this money that is put into this account is done by people that come to our state to visit. We don't even hardly pay into this. This has nothing to do with property tax. This amendment has nothing to do with property tax. Let's try to stay on the focused issue here.
Any other members for their first time? First time? Second time? No takers? Back to the amendment bringer. Representative Harshman.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Speaker. Appreciate the debate. Again, this will not affect the goldenrod. That is why we created this account. That's why we've got this entire agency off the budget. You'll see them, they're not even part of the generally funded budget. So appreciate your support for our veterans and our history. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Members, as per Rule 11-3, this does have an appropriation attached to it. Therefore, the chief clerk will call the roll.
Allemand? Andrew? Angelos? Banks? Bear? Brady? Bratton? Brown Gary? Brown Landon? Byron? Campbell Elisa? Campbell Kevin? Chestick? Clouston? Connolly? Davis? Eklund? Erickson? Filer? Geringer? Guggenmoss? Haroldson? Harshman? Heiner? Heft? Jarvis? Johnson? Kelly? Knapp? Larson Lloyd? Larson JT? Lawley? Lean? Locke? Lucas? McCann? Nicholas? Ottman? Pendergraft? Posey? Provenza? Riggins excused. Rodriguez Williams? Schmid? Sherwood? Singh? Smith? Storer? Strzok? Stivar? Tarver? Thayer? Washut? Wasserberger? Webb? Weber? Worf? Williams? Winter? Wiley? Yin? Mr. Speaker,
No.
are there any changes? Are there any changes? Closing vote? Vote closed. 23 aye, 38 no, 1 excused.
By your vote, you have chosen not to adopt third reading amendment number 2 to House Bill 258. Next amendment for our consideration, House Amendment number 3 to House Bill 258, third reading. Representative Harshman.
Thank you, Mr.
Please.
Speaker. I'd move third reading amendment number 3 to House Bill 258. Give us another bite at a little different apple. So this would be 2.5 million from the same account, but it'd be contingent on matching funds. So ask the people of Wyoming and our citizens to kind of kick into that. And we've done a good job over the years. We really, many of our projects have been off these matches where we can double the value really of this state, this tourism dollar. So stand for any questions. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Representative Harshman. Any first time representatives? Representative Pendergraft, first time.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I used to like to go buy used cars and you never take the first offer. But as far as I'm concerned, this is a good offer and I'd be an aye on this one.
Any other representatives for their first time? First time? First time on the amendment. Second time on the amendment. Any Representative Harshman, question being called. Members, you're being asked to decide on third reading amendment number 3 to House Bill 258. Chief Clerk, please call the roll.
Allemand? Andrew? Angelos? Banks? Bear? Brady? Bratton? Repeat. Brown Gary? Brown Landon? Byron? Campbell Elisa? Campbell Kevin? Chestick? Clauston? Connolly? Davis? Eklund? Erickson? Filer? Geringer? Guggenmoss? Haroldson? Harshman? Heiner? Heft? Jarvis? Johnson? Kelly? Knapp? Larson Lloyd? Larson JT? Lawley? Lean? Locke? Lucas? McCann? Nicholas? Ottman? Pendergraft? Posey? Provenza? Riggins, excused. Rodriguez Williams? Schmid? Sherwood? Singh? Smith? Storer? Strock? Stivar? Tarver? Thayer? Washut? Wasserberger? Webb? Weber? Wharf? Williams? Winter? Wiley? Wiley? Yin? Mr. Speaker, are there any changes? Bear? Are there any changes? Allemand, aye. To no. Rodriguez Williams, aye. To no. Further changes? Further changes? Closing vote? Vote closed. 53 aye, 8 no, 1 excused.
By your vote, you have adopted third reading amendment number 3 to House Bill 258. Next amendment for our consideration, amendment number 4 to House Bill 258. Representative Baer.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move third reading amendment number 4 to House Bill 258 and ask for your favorable consideration. Actually, just really need to clean things up now. From your good work, the amount of money that we need to transfer into SIPA for these projects has been reduced from 154 million down to just under 115 million. We're going to put 115 million in there, so there's a little bit of room for the Senate if they make some adjustments. It'll leave about 1.8 million above and beyond what our projects have. And your good work led to a reduction of $39,303,404. So if we can dispatch this, we will be ready to send this over to the other body, and appreciate your aye vote.
You know, the members for their first time. Any members? Question being called. All those in favor of third reading amendment number 4 to House Bill 258, Chief Clerk, please call the roll.
Allemand? Andrew? Angelos? Banks? Bear? Brady? Bratton? Brown, Gary? Brown, Landon? Byron? Campbell, Elisa? Campbell, Kevin? Chestick? Clouston? Connolly? Davis? Eklund? Erickson? Byler? Geringer? Guggenmoss? Haroldson? Harshman? Heiner? Heft? Jarvis? Johnson? Kelly? Knapp? Larson Lloyd? Larson JT? Lawley? Lean? Locke? Locke? Lucas? McCann? Nicholas? Ottman? Pendergraft? Posey? Provenza? Riggins excused. Rodriguez Williams? Schmid? Sherwood? Singh? Smith? Storer? Strock? Strock? Stivar? Tarver? Thayer? Washut? Washut? Wasserberger? Webb? Weber? Wharf? Williams? Winter? Wiley? Repeat. Yin? Mr. Speaker, are there any changes? Provenza, aye to no. Chestick, aye to no. Further changes? Further changes? Closing vote. Vote closed. 53 aye, 8 no, 1 excused.
Okay, amendment number 3, third reading amendment number 4 to House Bill 258 has been adopted. I understand we have a 5th amendment coming, so we'll hold until we can get that to the dais, and we will start on it. Stand at ease while we wait for that amendment.
No, you're fine. No money. You're fine. You're fine. Let me look at this thing. Yes. 5 has money.
Thank you for your patience, body. We are now on third reading amendment number 5 to House Bill 258. Representative Yin, please.
All the other ones. Mr. Speaker, members, I move third reading amendment number 5 to House Bill 258 and ask for your favorable consideration. So members, we had that conversation around second reading around the Silver Arena for the State Fair. I really like the idea of the arena, and I wanted to give it another chance. This is a 2-for-1 match, so $2 of general fund for $1 matching fund. Because it was such a large amount for asking for the arena, I didn't want to ask the county for a full half of it, but I thought a third of it was a reasonable ask. And so with that, I hope you'll support it.
Thank you, Representative. Any members for their first time? First time, Representative Bear.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I would urge a no vote here, folks. We've already finished this work. I guess we're learning our lesson as new appropriators, not weakening and giving in, because then it brings more. So I would urge a no vote here.
Thank you, Representative Bear. Representative Eklund for your first time.
I would urge an aye vote on this. It's a somewhat of a compromise. It helps our state fair continue with their planning. This thing's been in the plan for a while. We've asked them to find ways to generate some money, and they've found a way. We need to help them at least a little bit on it, and they're helping with it themselves. I think it's a good compromise.
Thank you, Representative Eklund. Representative Harshman, for your first time.
Mr. Speaker, question of the bringer. I just want to, is this a 2-to-1 or a 1-to-1? I think it's 2-to-1. And is it, when you say non-state sources, I just want to make sure, I mean, generally counties have been kind of a, a piece, basically a provision of the state. And I just want to be clear on that. Obviously, this county where it's located has a lot of mineral wealth, probably not that hard to match, but I just wanted a little more info on that. Thank you.
Thank you, Representative Harshman. Representative Strzok for her first time.
Thank you, Speaker. I appreciate the bringer of this bill or amendment, and I love the concept, so I appreciate an aye on this. Thank you.
Any other members for their first time? First time. Third reading amendment number 5 to House Bill 258. Bear in mind, this will be a roll call vote. There is an appropriation attached. Saying no, second time. Back to the bringer, Representative Yen.
So members, I didn't want to run it myself. I actually did want to bring it to the sponsor who sponsored the second reading amendment. But I didn't see it on the list, and we were kind of strapped for time, so I just rushed it out there. That's why you saw it basically immediately after our fourth reading amendment. Our fourth amendment. It did say non-state sources. I would treat the county as a non-state source, but I think we've had previous language that interpreted that way, but I could be wrong. If that happens to be the case, we can maybe push for some folks on when it continues moving through the process to correct that language.
Thank you, Representative Yen. Members, third reading amendment number 5 to House Bill 258. Chief Clerk, please call the roll.
Ellamand? Andrew? Angelos? Banks? Bear? Brady? Bratton? Brown, Gary? Brown, Landon? Byron? Campbell, Elisa? Campbell, Kevin? Chestick? Clouston? Connolly? Davis? Eklund? Erickson? Filer? Geringer? Guggenmoss? Haroldson? Harshman? Heiner? Heft? Jarvis? Johnson? Kelly? Knapp? Larson Lloyd? Larson JT? Lawley? Lean? Locke? Lucas? McCann? Nicholas? Ottman? Pendergraft? Posey? Provenza? Riggins, excused. Rodriguez Williams? Schmid? Sherwood? Singh? Smith? Storer? Strzok? Stivar? Tarver? Thayer? Washut? Wasserberger? Webb? Weber? Worf? Williams? Winter? Wiley? Yin? Mr. Speaker, are there any changes? Are there any changes? Closing vote. Vote closed. 13 aye, 48 no, 1 excused.
Members, by your vote, you have decided not to adopt third reading amendment number 5 to House Bill 258. We do have another amendment on its way, number 6. So, members, please hold on for a brief moment. Okay, if you want to refresh your screens, you do have a corrected copy. Third reading amendment number 6 to House Bill 258. Everyone's ready. Representative Wiley, please.
Mr. Speaker, thank you. I'll come back here instead of going up there that time. At this time, I'd like to move third reading amendment number 6 to House Bill 258. And with that, I'll give an explanation of the amendment. So throughout this debate and the sentiment on the floor, I'm looking for the best way to do this, the most equitable way to do this. And I'm listening to some of the stuff that we're going back and forth on. And I'm changing the funding mechanism from the tourism reserve account. And why am I doing this? Well, 6,000 workers are going to be attributing to that account during construction of all phases of development in Southwest Wyoming for over half a decade. So I believe that alone, with us matching dollar for dollar, wanting to put our money where our mouth is, if we get a grant or something, or if we can't get the funding within 2 years, it all reverts back. So with all that put together, I please ask you, help the hardworking folks of Sweetwater County. Again, this is to help bring revenue to our coffers. Again, we are 3 or 4 annually to help fill those reserves. Please vote aye.
Thank you, Representative Wiley. Representative Bear, for your first time.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I don't know what round this is. I've lost track. But we're still standing. We're still in the ring here.
Number 7, Representative Bear.
Number 7, 7th time on this issue. Well, it's still a no vote, folks, but this one gives us even more reason to vote no. This is not what the purpose of this account was set up for. It is for tourism. The previous bringer, where you all approved something that definitely had to do with tourism, that was appropriate. This is not. Vote no.
Thank you, Representative. Representative Larson, JT, for your first time.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and on and for this amendment. My fellow legislator from my town brings up a good point. We're going to be contributing a lot to this account in our county over the next few years, and I think that it's logical to pull it from here as well. So I encourage an aye vote.
Thank you, Representative Larson. Any other members for their first time? Representative Wharf, first time.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I do rise in support of this for the arguments that were made. We are going to be filling a lot of hotels with people coming in to do this work, and I think it's only appropriate that we help them out. They're clearly in a situation where they need that. I think the money's there. The money will be put back with these guys all contributing to that while they're here. So while it might not be tourism, it is going to be funded by a lot of people, non-residents mainly, that their businesses are going to be paying for them to be staying in hotels. So I would urge an aye vote. Thank you.
Thank you, Representative Wharf. Any others for their first time? First time on the amendment? Seeing none, second time. Second bite at the apple. Close us out. Representative Wiley.
Mr. Speaker, thank you very much. I just want to push back on the good chairman of the number 2 committee. These folks that are going to be constructing these projects are going to live in my county. They're going to live there upwards to a decade. And last night, that we had a thing, and that they were showing videos and stuff that they're putting on for the state for travel and different things. And I think there were quite a few of those videos, supporting travel and tourism and everything about these projects that are coming to my part of the state. And I really hate to advertise any more than it already is, because it's kind of our quiet little secret down there. But we have beautiful vistas and trails and water sports and fishing, and there will be plenty of excess opportunity to enjoy our travel and tourism for this great state. So I ask you, please, again, we're number 3 and 4 to the coffers every year. We're just asking for a little help here. Help us help you. Let's move this forward. Please consider a favorable vote here.
Thank you, Representative. Body, you are voting on third reading amendment number 6 to House Bill 258. Chief Clerk, please call the roll.
Allemand? Andrew? Angelos? Banks? Bear? Brady? Bratton? Brown Gary? Brown Landon? Byron? Campbell Elisa? Campbell Kevin? Chestick? Clouston. Connolly. Davis. Eklund. Erickson. Feiler. Geringer. Guggenmoss. Haroldson. Harshman. Heiner. Heft. Jarvis. Johnson. Kelly. Knapp. Larson Lloyd. Larson JT. Lawley. Lean. Locke. Lucas. McCann. Nicholas. Ottman. Pendergraft. Posey. Provenza. Riggins, excused. Rodriguez Williams. Schmid. Sherwood. Singh. Smith. Storer. Strock. Stivar. Tarver. Thayer. Washut. Wasserberger. Webb. Weber. Worf. Williams. Winter. Wiley. Yin. Mr. Speaker, are there any changes? Johnson, aye. To no. Further changes? Further changes? Williams? Closing vote? Vote closed. 19 aye, 42 no, 1 excused.
Members, by your vote, you have chosen not to adopt third reading amendment number 6 to House Bill 258. Members, House Bill number, I don't think we have, do we have anything? That's it, isn't it? Okay. All right. House Bill 258, having been read 3 separate times, the question is, shall the bill pass? Chief Clerk, please call the roll.
Allemand? Andrew? Angelos? Banks? Bear? Brady? Bratton? Brown Gary? Brown Landon? Byron? Campbell Elisa? Campbell Kevin? Chestick? Clouston? Connolly? Davis? Eklund? Erickson? Byler? Geringer? Guggenmoss? Haroldson? Harshman? Heiner? Heft? Jarvis? Johnson? Kelly? Knapp? Larson Lloyd? Larson JT? Lawley? Lean? Locke? Lucas? McCann? Nicholas? Ottman? Pendergraft? Posey? Provenza? Riggins, excused. Rodriguez Williams? Schmid? Sherwood? Singh? Smith? Storer? Strock? Stivar? Tarver? Thayer? Washut? Wasserberger? Webb? Weber? Worf? Williams? Winter? Wiley? Yin? Mr. Speaker, are there any changes? Are there any changes? Brady? Aye. To no. Further changes? Further changes? Schmid? Aye. To no. Further changes? Further changes? Posey? Aye. To no. Further changes? Closing vote? Vote closed. 56 aye, 5 no, 1 excused.
House Bill 258, having received the affirmative vote of the majority of the members elected to the House, House Bill 258 has passed the House. Members, we have one other item that must be taken care of right now. I'd like to get this finished up before we go on to lunch. We have to go back on any House joint resolution. It requires a 2/3 vote to be able to be passed out of the House. That was not identified when we voted last time. It passed by more than a 2/3 vote, but in order to be in protocol and make sure we have all of our i's dotted and our t's crossed, the chief clerk is going to call the roll again, and we're going to vote on House Joint Resolution number 4. Just imagine what that lunch is going to taste like if you just wait a couple more minutes.
Alaman? Alaman? Andrew? Angelos? Banks? Bear? Brady? Bratton? Brown, Gary? Brown, Landon? Byron? Campbell, Elisa? Campbell, Kevin? Chestick? Clouston? Connolly? Davis? Eklund? Erickson? Feiler? Geringer? Guggenmoss? Haroldson? Harshman? Heiner? Heft? Jarvis? Johnson? Kelly? Knapp? Larson Lloyd? Larson JT? Lawley? Lean? Locke? Lucas? McCann? McCann? Nicholas? Ottman? Pendergraft? Posey? Provenza? Riggins excused. Rodriguez Williams? Schmid? Sherwood? Singh? Smith? Storr? Strock? Stivar? Tarver? Thayer? Washut? Wasserberger? Webb? Weber? Worf? Williams? Winter? Wiley? Yin? Mr. Speaker,
Aye.
are there any changes? Are there any changes? Closing vote. Vote closed. 58 aye, 2 no, 1 excused, 1 conflict.
House Joint Resolution number 4, having received the affirmative vote of 2/3 majority of the members elected to the House, House Joint Resolution number 4 has passed the House. Mr. Majority Floor Leader. Oh, we have,
Yeah.
by the way.
Thank you.
Representative
Privilege
Banks,
of the
please.
floor, Mr. Speaker. So the Wyoming Farm Bureau has asked that I invite all legislators to a lunch down in room 5354 in the Capitol Annex. Give us a good chance to interact with the members of the Farm Bureau. So go have lunch on them. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Mr. Representative Connolly, please.
Mr.
Speaker, privilege of the floor. Before we go to lunch, I had some
Absolutely.
very patient people sitting up here. The Wyoming Senior Services Association unites senior centers statewide to address the unique challenges that Wyoming's aging population faces. They strive to I got a whole bunch to say about these people, but anyway, for time purposes, they're here to thank you for support of House Bill 122 that supports our senior service special districts, and they invited you to attend a reception at 5:30 at the Capitol Extension Office. And I just want to say, Carrie James, Sublet, Trenda Moore, Hot Springs, Carmen Rideout, Sheridan, AJ Mock from Johnson County, Alicia McCann from Laramie, Jenny DeSmith Platt, Linda Dalton Park, Zachary Lane Campbell, Anna Rossi Campbell, Toby Morgan Crook, Kelly Morrell, Carbon, Katie Brady, Laramie, Eric LeBlanc Laramie, Jane Noel Fremont, and Linda Crockett Goshen. They're all up there, and I'm sorry if I massacred your name. I'm trying to hurry. So just a round of applause for all these senior people.
Thank you, folks, for joining us, and thank you so much for taking care of our pioneers, because you folks are helping those folks be able to enjoy their lives and what they do here for Wyoming and all that they've contributed to this state. They're because they are here and because you serve them, that's we're able to be here today. So thank you for what you're doing. We appreciate your work. Representative Washut, privilege.
No, waiting for committee announcements.
Committee announcements. Representative Brown, oh, I'm sorry. I guess it's.
That's all right, Mr.
Go right
Speaker.
ahead.
I appreciate it,
When I
Mr.
look at
Speaker.
you, I guess that doesn't mean anything.
Mr. Speaker, your committee number 8, Transportation, Highways, Military Affairs, will meet at 12:40 to hear 3 bills. We're going to hear House Bill 237 continued from Tuesday, House Bill 225, parking during legislative meetings, and if time allows, House Bill 226.
Thank you, Chairman Brown. Chairman Washut.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Your committee number 1 will meet at 8 o'clock tomorrow morning. There are 2 bills, House Bill 166 and House Bill 234.
Thank you, Chairman Washut. Chairman Byron.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Committee number 6, Travel, Recreation, Wildlife, and Cultural Resources will meet at 12:40, Committee 12:40 today to hear House Bill 4, House Bill 85, and House Bill 162.
Thank you, Chairman. Chairman Bear, please.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Your committee number 2, Appropriations, will be meeting tomorrow upon noon recess, and we'll be meeting in room E301 and online to discuss House Bill 21, School Finance Routine Maintenance Worker Calculation, House Bill 316, School Finance Model Recalibration 2, House Bill 293, Repealing the School Foundation Program Reserve Account, House Bill 305, County Optional Tax on Solar Energy Production, and re-referrals as assigned.
Thank you, Chairman Bear. Chairman Knapp, Corporations.
Mr. Speaker, thank you. Corporations number 7 will meet tomorrow at noon recess in E005 for House Bill 215, Prohibition on Electronic Voting Equipment, House Bill 170, Nonprofit and Trust Entities Effective Time for Documents, and House Bill 262, Counties Limitations on Holding Reserves.
Thank you, Chairman. Chairman Winter, number 5, Agriculture.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I prefer to have a privilege of the floor if that's still possible.
Do I have any other committee announcements? I will be right back to you, Chairman Winter. Chairman Heiner, Minerals.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Your committee number 9, Minerals, will meet tomorrow at 8 a.m. following the lead of our good chairman from Judiciary. We'll discuss House Bill 209, Reliable and Dispatchable Low Carbon Standards, repeal, and House Bill 183, Net Metering Amendments.
Thank you. Any other chairs? Privilege of the floor, Chairman Winter, please.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Speaker. This may be too late, but I wanted everybody to recognize all the galleries. We have many Farm Bureau members from around the state here. They may have gone now, I don't know, but we're going to see them down in the lunchroom. So I would like for you to recognize them with your applause.
Thank you, Farm Bureau, and I do understand that they're going to be meeting downstairs, so I would encourage all representatives to take time to go down and meet with those folks and have an opportunity to visit with them about the issues that are very important to them. So we will be meeting down there at this lunch hour. Representative Majority Leader Heiner.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move that we stand in recess until 2:30 this afternoon.
You have heard the motion of the Majority Floor Leader. All those in favor signify by saying aye. All those opposed, no. We'll stand in recess until 2:30.